Welcome back to the 47th ever episode of the Iced Coffee Hour. My name is Alex, and so far we've made $54,358.86.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
That was good. Alex, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This is a really exciting episode that we've been waiting quite some time to do. Let's just get the cat out of the bag right now. We picked the new assistant. Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you.
A really exciting moment. How this came to be, though, was actually kind of funny. So I found Jack about a year. It's been a little bit over a year now.
No, it's been like over 2 years, Graham.
Really?
Yes, it's been over 2 years.
And you're appreciated around here.
Just whatever you've been dating Macy for, add
2 months.
Add 2 months.
Gosh, time flies. Okay, so anyway, 2 years ago, we've gotten really busy here at the family, and we needed some extra help. So I talked to Jack and we're like, how do we go about finding someone else to help us out and maybe, help us with some editing and like little errands here and there. So we think it's a good idea to go and make a spur of the moment video, just explaining what we want in somebody. And we thought it would be a fun idea and creative to make like a video submission where basically people could go and like submit their own video of why they should come work with us. And admittedly, in our first video, it didn't go over so well.
No, it was horrible. I saw it. I was like, why do you guys keep mentioning laundry? Like, you guys your jokes did not land.
Yeah,
it was a misstep.
And there was like, you shouldn't be making jokes in like something that's like, here's a job posting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it actually
like
technically wasn't supposed to be like a joke per se, but basically like we were trying to emphasize the fact that whoever we ended up hiring, it's likely that they could be doing less than glamorous work sometimes, because the purpose of the assistant would be to alleviate and like give more time back to Graham and I. So we kind of like went in for an example, like what if they needed to do laundry sometime because we were like really busy working or something like that. I mean, a purpose of an assistant is to give you your time back. And basically people got upset at us for saying the laundry thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but like instead of saying, you're going to be doing less than glamorous work, you're like, do laundry. And that's the only thing you
We didn't say do laundry,
well,
but
you said it might include, you said it like it might include us doing laundry. And then I was like, yeah, you don't want to do Jack's laundry. Like, it's bad. And then we kind of joked around about it. And then I thought it was a great video. I didn't even think I'd put a second thought. And then once I started seeing comments like, dude, I can't believe it. You're looking for someone to do Jack's laundry. And I showed it to Macy. Macy's like, why did you throw that in there? That's really bad. I'm like, is it that bad?
See, the thing is, you and I, we think alike insofar as like, we wouldn't mind doing someone's laundry.
I'd be happy.
If that means that we can work with like a job that we would like to work with people we like, but we have to do laundry, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Same.
But
it doesn't matter to me.
Competent at doing laundry.
I've done laundry.
I'm not terrible.
You've done laundry like 3 times we've been together, and you have turned your clothes pink. I think 1 or 2 of those times, and another time you
but that was
melted
the
a
first.
blanket.
The first one, the blanket. You didn't tell me I had to do the blanket on low heat. Anyway,
You didn't even know there was a
didn't
heat
matter.
nozzle.
The point is basically that when I started working, I was doing anything, like literally anything I could. I was doing all the grunt work. I was like going and picking up like checkbooks from somebody's car and like driving like across the town just to pick up like a key or like just little stuff. I didn't ask for anything in return. Same with Jack. I think Jack, when you started, a whole bunch of just miscellaneous stuff that just sucked to do, but it was just a part of the job. So that's the point we were trying to emphasize. Didn't hit. People didn't understand it. And so we came back with another video. And that's when you saw our video. How did you see it, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, so I work from home. So once I was done with my shift, basically I was on Instagram, and I follow you at GP Stefan. And
nice plug. Wow. He's a natural. Wow. That was good.
That was great.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why we hired you.
Right.
Do that.
Just to plug Graham.
Yeah.
And I just saw his story that he was hiring, and I don't think it was the first time he posted it, because when I searched Graham Stefan assistant on YouTube, there was already like maybe 2 videos or 3, at least that popped up for me. And that's when I saw it, and I kind of felt compelled to apply. And I don't know if you guys want to go into the story now.
I do.
Oh,
let's hear it.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. So I saw it. I was out of my shift, and I was like, man, this would be an awesome opportunity. I felt a calling. And so the first thing I did, I told Kelsey, which is my girlfriend, I'm going to apply. I'm going to hop in the shower. I look like a werewolf, so I scheduled the haircut. while hopped in the shower, went to get my haircut. After I got my haircut, I was searching because I was coming up with ideas, and I was going to do the coffee thing that for those of you guys that didn't see the video, I wrote out smash the like button in coffee. But I had to research where to buy. I don't drink coffee, by the way. So I had to
strike one.
It's more for us, Scram.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good thing.
That's what I said.
So I had to figure out where to buy the same coffee maker that you had in your video, the same coffee creamer, the same filters. And I did that while I was getting my haircut. I was on my phone, and I figured out that it was like a Kroger brand. So went to one of the chains, picked up the stuff, and that same night I filmed that video.
I'll tell you my initial impression. This was within the first 24 hours, I think, of my Instagram post going live. I saw your video, and instantly I was like, "This is it." I remember even going to Macy. Yeah, really.
Oh yeah, no, he
Instantly.
ran back and he's like, Macy,
found the guy.
I found it, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, just let's look at everyone else. And he's like, no, watch the video. I was like, oh, you found it. Yeah, you found it.
Yeah, Macy agreed with me. And this is we had a week, by the way, of more submissions. I just felt like, first of all, you were very prompt. And so I get sometimes there's an advantage of kind of being late to the game and seeing what other people are doing and improving on that. But you were on it. And at that point, I'm like, mentally, I was almost like, why even look for anybody else? Of course, we weren't going to do that. And we were going to look through everybody and give everyone an equal chance. And I told Jack this. And Jack was very much like, Graham, we got to look through everybody. You can't do this. We don't. No, you're
so
jumping the gun. Yeah.
I thought it was unfair to say in the first 24 hours that we've already picked someone.
I wasn't going to say we're going to pick someone.
Well, but we probably should have if we had made up our mind, because people were still
I
posting.
didn't make up my mind.
But I thought you said you had made up your mind. You wanted him.
Mentally. But but we hadn't met yet. We hadn't even talked yet.
Yeah.
I just knew based on the video. I felt like this is it.
So I saw his video. I thought it was really good. I thought it was my favorite video definitely by that time. But at that time, Graham was so early onto it and he wanted to jump the gun. And I said, no, we have to wait for everyone else to submit their videos, because what if we make up our mind, but we don't publish anything anywhere, and then people are still submitting videos after and people are just wasting their time, and I felt like it was wrong to set a deadline and then just pick someone in the first 24 hours.
Yeah. So we did just that, and we looked through everybody. And I remember you sent me one from Colby Baker. That video, I was blown away. Now, Jack told me, listen, Alex seems pretty good, but watch Colby's video. I like Colby's video a lot. Just wait until you see it. We got in an argument in the car.
Yeah.
On the way, we were driving around, and we got in an argument because I forget what that was about. Macy, do you remember? What was the argument about?
I had to mediate that argument because you guys have two different communication styles. So they'll be saying the same thing at each other, and then you're in the car, you're just like, I want to bash my head through this window right now. Shut up. You're saying the same thing.
That was the only... Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
So their argument is I think this is the right one, but we should see everybody. And they both were saying that in different ways back and forth at each other. And I literally was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, that was it. We both were saying the same thing.
Yeah, I was saying I like Alex and Colby, but we should meet them both. And then Jack was saying we shouldn't pick one of them until we meet both of them.
Yeah.
And we just, I don't know, something wasn't hitting there.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone at home that's just understands my frustration of hearing this for 20 minutes in the car. We were driving from somewhere that was all the way across town, and it was just whole drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to throw up now.
I'll admit, you showed me Colby's video. I was really impressed. Colby's video, by the way, for those that we should put a few little clips of it on here. Mm-hmm. It was so entertaining to watch. I felt like from a creative standpoint, Colby, just from a filming standpoint, this was a 10 out of 10, this video. It was so creative. It was filmed so well. And just the humor behind it, I felt would make for a really entertaining either vlog episode or just a person to work with in general. So it was close. But before we made the final decision, we actually sat down for probably 2.5 hours looking through every single submission that everyone has made. We watched them all.
So if you submitted... We watched it.
100%.
We saw you. We know you. We know who you are.
It was over 2.5 hours. I think Graham was spending at least 30 minutes a day, if not more,
Oh, yeah,
looking at every
yeah.
single one. And even myself too, I know I was spending quite a bit of time because I was just curious. Like I wasn't part of the decision, but I wanted to see, like, kind of get my first impressions because obviously, like, you're in the house all the time. I wanted to see who possibly could be in the living space.
I was scoping out the competition.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, no, I thought they were all good. And I kind of wanted to see, because I was so early, I really did want to see, okay, what is everybody else doing? Because I kind of just shot blindly and I was like, I hope it hits. And I don't know, there wasn't a established set of videos yet. And so, yeah, it felt really blind to me.
Yeah.
I think you had this nice mix for me because there was a few I was kind of rooting for that, like, either they seemed really hardworking but they didn't have the technical skills yet, but they seemed like they would learn.
Yeah.
And so it was like, really, I thought that was really cool, but you seemed to be hardworking. You would learn new skills, but you already kind of had some stuff to bring to the table, as well as being like having humor in your video and just technical skills with it that you were bringing to the table, that you just had this nice jack of all trades where some people might have had one or two of those traits. You just seemed to have all of them, which made it work really well.
Yeah, it was tough. We had, it must have been like 10 or 15 different tabs open. And what we would do, we'd watch all the videos. If we liked somebody, we'd keep the tab open up another tab. We got like 15 tabs open to people. And then we watched them all again back to back. We're like, between these two people, what do you like? Okay, we like this one. And we slowly narrowed it down. And really it was between you and Colby. And that was your big competition there. So we decided what we would do is fly each of you out to Las Vegas and give you a test. And you showed up. You were dressed 10 out of 10, very spiffy. You were overdressed for the occasion. We're sitting
was
here in
very
sweat.
fancy.
Wait, isn't
Yeah.
it how I'm dressed now?
Yes.
You were wearing dress shoes,
Dress
which I think was a
shoes,
little
yeah.
intimidating
I
for
still
us.
wore them today.
They still weren't. Yeah, we're basically just wearing sweatpants and stuff. Like, I wouldn't expect you to show up in sweatpants, but you were dressed. You were overdressed.
Yeah. So I think the thing with that is, I don't buy a lot of clothes. I have a set of clothes, a few clothes that I like, and that's what I have. And so over the years, I phased out any t-shirts because I was working in the corporate world. It's like, why am I going to spend my money on a t-shirt when the only thing I wear is to work? And I could wear the things that I wear to work on the weekends. So being here is kind of different because the other day I went with Kelsey and I bought my first t-shirt in a while.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know it sounds so ridiculous, but it really is a huge thing for me.
You're going to have to get your honorary pair of sweatpants. That way you can join in with
That's
us.
all we wear around
Yeah,
here now is the
seriously.
sweatpants. So tell us, what were you doing, first of all, before doing all of this? And then what was your reaction when we reached out to you?
Yeah. So before this, I was working at a bank and I was working from home and I was working in operations. So what I did was move money around. So other teams would send us files. We'd upload them into the system, like millions of dollars, they'd get moved, and reconciling like internal bank accounts. So really boring stuff, basically in Excel all day. And when you guys reached out to me, it was ridiculous. I think, Graham saw my video within the first 10 minutes that I posted it. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
First 10, 15 minutes, you saw it. You responded.
So I'm just I'm constantly refreshing to watch all the videos.
So
yeah.
you were on there. And when I got the message, I was at home and I told Kelsey and we were just like, oh my gosh. But then I was also like, maybe he's reaching out to like 50% of the people. Like I had no clue. But when it really turned real was when you guys both reached out to me to say, hey, we want to fly you out, which is kind of where you were going towards. And I was just like, oh, this is real. Like now I didn't know how many people you had in mind, but I knew that there only has to be a handful of people at this point because I was like, Graham is so frugal. He's not going to buy a bunch of people plane tickets. I was like, how many could he possibly fly? That was a joke, but it's kind of true, right?
No,
It's true. It's true.
So
What were your thoughts about moving to Las Vegas? Because you'd have to relocate. You weren't living here.
But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Notion. Notion is a powerful tool that improves team collaboration and can also help you stay organized on your own. Notion lets you take notes, manage tasks, set goals, and so much more. When I was in college, it was super important for me to keep all my notes and schoolwork organized for all of the different classes I was taking. And of course, not to mention all of the work I had to do with Graham. Fortunately for me, a friend showed me Notion. Notion was able to help me quickly create a custom layout for all my notes so I could organize them exactly how I wanted. Although I'm no longer in college, I still use Notion all the time. In fact, it's the program that we use to track all of our sponsors for the podcast. I have a custom shared sheet with my sponsor agent where we can easily track and manage all of our deadlines. I personally love how Notion has tables that I can easily add formulas to, checkboxes so I can make a custom list, and it also has a collection of templates in case I don't want to use my own custom layout. I was actually extremely happy to hear that Notion reached out to sponsor this podcast because I've had nothing but great experiences with them in the years that I've been using it. It really is easy to see why so many businesses and individuals use Notion. Sign up for Notion with the link in the description and get started today. Thank you so much, Notion, for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.
Right. So my first thought was scorpions. I told Jack this. I'm terrified. I don't know what it
Spider
is.
lobsters. That's what they are.
Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I told Jack, I was like, I'll deal with the heat. The only thing that for some reason creeps me out is I know that we're in the desert and there's creepy crawlies, and I'm okay with most of them, but scorpions. That was my only concern. Is that a weird?
Have you seen a scorpion before?
Yes.
There was a traumatic event.
Yeah,
in his childhood.
One time I was sleeping in a house in Mexico with my mom, and my mom in the middle of the night, I just hear a giant smack. And what it was I was sleeping near the bed by the wall, and my mom had woken up in the middle of the night, saw a scorpion on the wall. She took a shoe and she smacked it on the wall, and it woke me up. And so imagine waking up to a scorpion being right next to you. So maybe that's it, but I didn't really see it because it was dark.
They're pretty harmless.
Oh no, they're terrifying though. If you've ever seen them in person, I had one time when I was staying in a foreign country, and it was a really, really tropical area. They would like to hide if you left a beach towel on the floor and it was damp underneath. So I went to go pick mine up, and it just fell out, and it was oh my goodness, it was a baby, and it was terrified.
I wanted
so
to pet scorpion as a kid. My dad was all for it, but I split time between my dad's house and my mom's house, and my mom just did not want a scorpion and didn't get a scorpion. I really wanted. She was actually fine with the tarantula. Believe it or not, I had a tarantula for 8 years.
But no scorpion.
No scorpion. I really wanted a scorpion. And they're so cool too, and they glow under the black light. I love that. That is so neat.
You guys don't think so?
No.
I agree.
I think it'd be cool. I'd be okay if you had it as a pet in the house, and I'd be oh, cool. But just why? I don't want to find a scorpion under my towel.
To be fair, I have, we have, friends that live out here, like Jeremy from Financial Education, his wife, and his wife said that they've only found 2, and they were both in the garage.
Yeah. Well, I think
she said you just get your house sprayed regularly.
Yeah, I think to summarize, I think that it was a bigger deal in my head than it really is, because since I've been out here, I know they come out at night, but I don't think I have to worry about it. I think I'll probably see 1 or 2, you do a spider in your house, and I'll get over it. But other than that, the only other thing that in the back of my head was oh, should I move to Vegas? Kelsey and I both have family, not too far where we live. But luckily we've lived away from them for about 3 years now, three and a half years. And so that wasn't really a huge issue.
And where'd you come from?
Oh, right. I'm from Wisconsin. So Milwaukee, Wisconsin, originally from the northern suburbs of Illinois though. So it's all within a 1.5 2 hour drive.
And when you flew out here, there was a little bit of a mishap.
Oh, tell everyone what happened. This is unbelievable.
Okay. So I got here, and, Graham and Jack asked me, oh, how was your flight? And, I was straight up honest with them. I was I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I told them the truth, and here's what happened.
You don't know this, Macy. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, I know
so
this. Oh, this is good. So
listen to this.
So I was so excited. I was getting to the airport maybe 2 hours before my flight, because I'm can't miss this flight. Got to be on time. I get to the airport, and it turns out that I had booked my flight for the wrong day, and I had no ticket. And I was just stuck in the airport, no ticket. I have to see Graham and Jack tomorrow at 8 a.m. What am I going to do? So I pull out my phone, and I see that there's one more flight leaving Milwaukee in 20 minutes. So I run to the Delta desk because it was through Delta, and I paid $800 for a one-way ticket to come to Las Vegas and, do a trial run with Graham and Jack.
That's committed.
Yeah.
That is committed.
I was a little hesitant, but I couldn't miss the opportunity. I mean, and when you guys told me, I didn't want it to be like, I'm a pretty honest person, and I didn't want to be like, oh, it was good, because it was ridiculous. It was crazy. So yeah, that's that's kind of what happened.
So it was unlucky, but it was also lucky that there was another flight.
We paid Alex.
We gave him money. We didn't give him $800, but we gave him a flight. We paid for his initial flight.
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
was it. Okay.
Housing and everything.
Yeah, okay. Jack and Graham agreed to give me a
$400.
budget. Yeah, $400 for flights and accommodations, which in Vegas is pretty easy. Flights are pretty cheap, and one flight surpassed the budget by double.
That's nuts.
But I mean, it paid off.
Yeah. And I remember too, when you showed up, I was really impressed because you printed out this whole booklet of ways that we could improve and make more money on the channel. And I like to pull little pranks every now and then. And I get this book and it's so nicely done. And I open the first page and I'm like, there's a typo right here.
I had only known Graham for like 20 minutes at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, because we were going to film. And so I was like, well, I may as well give him this because, there's going to be free time or whatever. Yeah. And he pulled that prank on me and my heart just dropped. I was like, oh my gosh, I spent all night on this booklet. I had my girlfriend proofread it. And I was like, there's got to be a typo in there because I did it at like 3 a.m. But I was like, on the first page, like that would be ridiculous. But good job. Good job. That
Thanks.
was funny.
So as soon as you arrived to Las Vegas, what happened? What were your first impressions of Graham and I and Macy?
Well,
be honest. Be 100% honest.
Yeah. So
don't
to be honest, in my head, I was like, I didn't think I would get along with Jack as well as we do. And I mentioned this to Jack a little bit.
Why? Why not?
Because, Jack to me, like I knew we would get along. I just didn't think we'd be like BFFs.
You guys were inseparable. I was actually really surprised. It's just like how much you just hang out outside of work. Like you made pizzas. Yeah, you made pizzas the other day.
Pizzas last night.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like work ends and then you guys are just hanging out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because so in my head, I was like, well, Jack and I kind of are like, I was like, we come from very different backgrounds. I was like, Jack kind of like, he seemed like almost like a college bro to me, and I was just like, I was like, Graham, he seems a little bit more like calm. Macy seems, calm. I was like, but Jack, I was like, I think he's gonna, I think we're gonna get along, but we're not gonna be like super close. And I'm being honest here, guys.
Yeah, I love it. I love honesty.
And I get here, and it's the complete opposite because Jack and I, the first thing that we talked about are microphones and how we have to convince Graham to buy Shure SM7Bs. And not that we don't love Rode,
Rode is absolutely incredible.
We love Rode.
Thank you, Rode.
Yeah.
Great company.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
In Australia too, man. Mm-hmm. But no, the first thing we bonded over was like really weird techie stuff. And it just kept going. Like we like, so we're like, we both have a really wide range of music that we like. We both, he took me out to the strip on like my first or second night.
I know. You sent me a picture of both of you on the strip by like one of the casinos. I was like, oh man, that seems like so much fun.
Just for a walk. Yeah. We didn't do anything. We literally, because Jack was like, have you ever seen the strip? And I was like, no, because I never visited Vegas before. And so he took me out. And since then, I got to say, Jack, like, I don't have any friends out here and I hang out with Jack every day. And
neither do I. And I hang out with you every day. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first impressions of you. You were so candid, man. I showed up. Yeah. Graham answers the door and he's just like, oh yeah, like we have a podcast. He's like, I gotta hop in the shower. And I'm just like, he did say to show up at like 8 or 9 a.m. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, so like the fact that it was so candid was just incredible. And then
Yeah.
let's see, what did I think of Macy?
No, keep doing me. Keep doing me.
Okay, let's talk about Graham. Let's talk about Graham.
The
Talk about
shower
me more.
thing.
Talk about me more.
Yeah, so
We woke up 15 minutes before you got here because we ended up staying up we end up working till like 8 or 9 at night. So then he and I want to spend time together. So then we stay up till like midnight or later. So then we sleep until about 8.
Right. So that makes sense. So, but I just thought it was hilarious that he knows I'm showing up at X amount of time or at X time. And then I show up and he's like, oh yeah, what's up, Alex? And then the first thing Graham says to me is, Alex, whatever you want from the refrigerator, man. He's like, go ahead. And then I was so odd because I was like, and then I look and I forgot that you guys had the mini fridge.
Yeah.
And
So there's like 3 things to pick from.
yeah. And I was like, I didn't know what to pick from. So luckily Macy peer pressured me. She was like, take the, there's butternut squash ravioli. So while Macy and Graham stepped out, I made myself some butternut squash ravioli.
See, my thought was that we had a podcast guest coming at like 11. You were showing up at like 8:30ish. So my thought was that like Jack and you would do your thing. I would get ready and I would show up by the time we had to film. So, but yeah, I think you came and I just wanted to open the door and introduce myself.
Yeah, no, that was super nice. I think it would have been a little odd if I was in here and I was like, oh, where's Graham?
Graham's just a simulation.
Yeah.
Not real.
What did you guys think of me? Like, I know you said I was overdressed, but what were your initial impressions? Because I know you saw the video, right? So you might have had a preconceived notion maybe of what I was like, but
You were the exact same from the video as you were in person.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think there's any difference whatsoever. Oh, you know what? The thing I liked, what kind of sealed the deal for me.
But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Ladder. Life is amazing and full of beautiful surprises. Whether my ears are being blessed by my favorite pianist, I'm admiring the inspiring marine life at my favorite lookout, or I'm eating all-you-can-eat sushi with some of my best friends. It's moments like these that act as a constant reminder of how beautiful life is and exactly why it should be protected. On that note, it makes sense why people get life insurance, especially long-term coverage, which is surprisingly affordable. Why not pay a little bit each month to protect the ones that you love? If you're asking yourself this question, choose Ladder. Ladder makes it impressively fast and easy to get covered. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithms work in real time, so you'll find out instantly if you're approved. And there are no hidden fees and you can cancel at any time. And since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the perfect time to cross it off your list. So check out Ladder today to see if you're instantly approved. Go to ladderlife.com/icedcoffee. That's ladder, LADDER life.com/icedcoffee. Ladderlife.com/icedcoffee. Thank you so much, Ladder, for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.
You started cleaning up the kitchen.
Oh,
That was huge. That was huge. We have a friend. This is, big shout out to Anthony. Anthony's Garage on YouTube. He is a clean freak. So anything he sees out of place, even if you don't ask him, like if he sees like a little, something on the ground, he'll just pick it up and throw it away. You never have to ask him. You did that in the kitchen. There was something in the kitchen, like the dishes or something like that. You started just cleaning up everything around the kitchen. We didn't even ask you to do that.
Right.
That was huge.
I think I cooked dinner for everybody, but my ankle was really shot. So it's like I cannot do the dishes afterwards. It's like I'll get it tomorrow morning. And then I woke up the next morning and walked out and all the dishes were done. I was like, oh, I appreciate this so much.
Keep that up. Don't stop doing that. Anytime you see something that needs to be clean, just clean it up. Clean it up. We notice.
yeah, I mean, it's not, and I think I mentioned this, like, it's not like I was trying to, kind of do it. It's more of like if there's, I wouldn't say I'm like Anthony where if I see a piece of paper over there, it's freaking me out. But if I'm walking past that piece of paper, am I just going to kick it to the side? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Teach Jack that.
What?
Jack hasn't
Oh
understood.
my gosh, Jack, your room.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, it was so bad. So the door
not
was
supposed
open.
to go in there.
The door was open and Ramsey
You had
ran
the
in
door
there.
open, and there
Ramsey
was
was
a
in
musty
there.
odor coming
It
from
was
the room.
bad.
Odor? No,
Yes.
don't say that
Ramsey.
when we're...
Yes.
Ramsey went in there. I had to go and pick out Ramsey from your room. It was like something blew up in the room.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Whoa, hold on. Slow your roll, Graham.
Just you couldn't even see the carpet because there was stuff
we have
everywhere.
mats and rugs in there.
No, you couldn't see the mats and rugs.
It was just the whole thing was completely covered. Like you had to step around.
Okay,
things to
so truth be told, we don't have a dresser or anything in the room.
you have a huge closet.
There's
But I don't have any
walk-in
hangers. I don't have anything.
Buy hangers.
They're on the way.
Amazon.
They're on the way.
They've been on the way for months.
Well, they're coming.
Did they get lost?
Look, it's not as bad as you guys think.
You have a huge walk-in closet.
Amazon sent it to China.
I've never
Who
had such
actually
a-
sent
I
it
don't know-
back, and then went back to China, and that's the delay.
Yeah. So don't worry about that, guys. It's not that dirty.
After Jack and I have been making dinner every night, we've been cleaning up,
Very well.
Yeah.
I
very
noticed. I noticed.
I do the dishes after you cook too, like 50% of the time.
You do.
Yeah.
You do help me clean up afterwards.
Jack doesn't know how to use a dishwasher though, but that's a story for a different day.
We don't talk about that.
put the dishes in
Graham
the
doesn't know about
dishwasher.
that. We don't talk about
Yeah,
that.
we don't talk about that.
He
Yeah,
doesn't know how to use a iron either.
that's true. Was that the day that you came?
Yeah. Okay. So the day that I come to film this podcast, Jack goes to put on his Weeble shirt for the podcast, and he comes out, and it's full of wrinkles.
It was bad.
And we all look at him. Macy, Graham, and I are standing
It
there, and we just
looks-
look at him, and we're just like, "You're not going to wear that to the podcast, are you?" And Jack just looks at us like, "Yeah, what's wrong with it?" And I think Macy's the one who's like, "Jack, go get the iron. I'll get the iron for you. Just iron your shirt." But I mean,
it was really bad.
But okay, so it looked like somebody folded the shirt and then ironed it folded. That's how bad the creases were.
the whole thing was creased.
But you guys were so surprised I didn't know how to use an iron.
Right.
But my logic is, how are you just born knowing how to use an iron?
Well, my favorite part was when the steam was coming out of it. You're like, Graham, it's leaking.
Yeah.
I spilled water everywhere.
You pick it up. There's water in this.
I spilled
It
the water
leaked.
every-
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, there's supposed to be water. But you plug it in. Why is there water if you plug it in?
I'm not that
Blows
bad,
my
guys.
mind.
Trust
pretty-
me. It's
that's
Blows
pretty
my
funny.
mind.
yeah. But now I know how to use an iron.
Yeah, I walked up
So-
to Alex. I'm like, welcome to my insanity. Welcome
Macy,
to what I
what were your initial impressions of Alex?
Alex didn't do his initial impressions of me, which
Yeah,
makes me
let's-
feel great.
oh.
He's
So-
just like, I'm going to skip over it.
No.
She's a mess.
I mean, it was a little different because I don't think I saw Macy a little bit, but then she kind of went to do her own thing for the day. But my initial impressions were she's literally just like her YouTube videos, like literally the same personality. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the vibe that she gives off is the same. But she was super nice because she did the same thing that Graham said. She's like, Graham left. Macy came in. She's like, "Oh, by the way, Alex, grab anything out of the fridge." I'm like, oh, okay. I see the type of house this is. But no, super nice, super accommodating.
Cool.
Because, and I could tell, I think Macy was interested in having another girl in the house, like my girlfriend, because, I think one of the first things she said to me is like, "Oh, I really like how you have a girlfriend."
Did you say that?
I did, because I said then there's going to be another girl around. Because you know how many times I'm like, look at guys, I did my nails. And they're like, And I'm like, what color should I do my nails next? Because after, you do them all the time, it's just, they go, I don't know, blue or something. But I was like, oh, so there's another girl, so she'll get it. I'll have somebody to do face masks with and drink wine out by the pool.
Yeah, we don't get that stuff. No, I'm just no, that was I didn't have many crazy thoughts about Macy as much as you guys. I didn't really watch her videos too much, but from what I saw, exactly the same. Yeah, super nice.
And then your impressions of Alex.
Okay, my impressions of you. This might have been a little bit of projecting because, granted, I worked corporate and then I went YouTube, kind of similar to what you did. I thought, with my perspective on how you go from that to that, I thought you were ready to step into a world that isn't as structured as the corporate world, but it has like a lot of room for fast growth. It's a little bit more volatile. I thought you would be able to handle that really well. Some of that might have been just because I went from doing that and I was like, or maybe it's just that I did it and then I recognized in you that you'd be able to handle it too. I thought from I think 5 minutes of you walking in, I was like, I hope they pick him because I feel so comfortable with him in the house. We left you up and you're doing your thing on your computer in the dining room, and I walk out to go grab myself a snack, and it didn't feel uncomfortable. It was really nice. So it was just I hope they pick him because he just feels like he was supposed to be in this house, if that makes sense. So, and this is nothing against Colby at all or any of this that I'm saying. It's just, I felt like you belonged in the house and part of the group, and then watching you interact with us while we're eating dinner, it just felt like you were this piece that we didn't know we needed as part of the team or part of the fam here. So I thought you were just like, oh, this piece that you were gonna be able to handle it really well. You were here to come. You were gonna give it 1,000%, and I just overall was just excited to have you around.
So you got here, we did a lot of work that day. It was a very, very busy day. You were able to actually edit that podcast that we filmed on Saturday and have it completely done by the next morning on Sunday. And that was rough. I remember that first night, that Saturday, you and I were both up until it was like, what was it, 3 in the morning? 3:30 in the morning. We were editing that podcast, just me and him in the kitchen at the big table, side by side, going through Final Cut Pro, editing the podcast. And that was definitely an experience. And I'm glad that you were totally willing and ready to pump that out. And the next day, I think you arrived back here at no, you spent the night and then you were up at 8.
Oh yeah. Originally I was going to leave Sunday. My flight was on Sunday, but I booked the flight for the wrong day. So I didn't have a returning flight back. So that's when I was like, oh, it'd be cool. Stay one more day, because I was also trying to get a feel for it too. I wanted it to be fun. I was like, can I really see myself doing this? And I know everybody's like, what do you mean? I want to be a YouTuber or whatever, but you have to think about it in real life. You have to be ready to know that this is going to phase into some part of your life, and it's going to mix, and you're going to be stressed, and it's different than working a 9 to 5. You clock out and I can do whatever I want. It's completely different. And so I was like, you know what? A second day might be fun. So I actually told Jack, I was like, if you guys, or I think I told you,
Yep.
I was like, if you need help the next day, I was like, I'm not planning on leaving until Monday. Just let me know. And you said, well, I'm going to be busy all that day because I'm planning. But you were like, but if Jack needs help,
Which I did.
which he did. And I was like, yeah.
Jack needs more help than any of us could give him, though.
That's because I have so
he
many
needs
responsibilities.
a lot of help.
I have a lot of
Many
responsibilities.
ways. I
So
don't think anybody could give you the help that you need.
So what's going on with this today, huh?
Disaster.
What's going?
You guys set off the fire alarm.
Oh,
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay. Story time.
I thought that was Macy's cooking, and I went out to see Macy. I'm like, why is the
know.
fire? Because we have sprinklers in new constructions. When it senses there's a fire, senses smoke, the sprinklers go off. And
I didn't
we got
know that.
equipment, and we got
Yeah.
a piano. We got a lot of stuff that could get ruined.
Yeah. So essentially, what happened the second day was basically Alex and I woke up, and we're actually planning on creating a full-on podcast studio in the room right now that I'm using as my office. And we were installing these foam acoustic panels or something on the ceiling. And in order to do that, you have to have a spray adhesive so you can get them to stick together. And basically Alex and I worked on that for, I don't even know how long it was that day.
All day.
It was all day that we were just sticking foam panels on the ceiling, which is very high, almost out of reach, very dangerous activity.
Yeah, because Jack ordered a spray online specifically for the foam. So as we're spraying it, and the room is filling up with glue
Chemicals.
Particulate.
Yeah.
Glue particulate.
Jack and I look at each other and we're like, is this safe? And I was like, yeah, let's just go put on our mask.
So we put on our masks as we're spraying
This is the COVID mask, by the way.
Literally, it looked like a laboratory, in there. It was
Walter White.
No, it literally did.
No.
I remember you walked in there and you're like, whoa, what's going on?
I walked in and it looked like the whole room was filled up of steam.
Yeah.
And,
No.
and
Like a
the
sauna.
smell was
No, it
so
looked like somebody
intense.
left a fog machine overnight
Yeah.
and forgot to
Yeah.
turn it off.
It was a disco.
Yeah, and I wanted. It's and they kept the door closed, didn't open the window.
We didn't want the door open because then it would spill into you guys.
Yeah,
that
we
was us
didn't want
being
the animal.
considerate.
We didn't want the animals going in there, but
Yeah.
still,
Right.
it's
Yeah. So anyway, the thick particulate set off the fire alarms, and it made Graham come out of the office because he was planning, and Macy was in the middle of filming a cooking video, and I'm the new guy who's just like, hey, sorry for setting off your fire alarm.
It was a big ordeal. It was an
I was
ordeal.
so confused because I bake cookies, but I always like them a minute or two underdone. So it's there's no way I burned these.
Macy set off the fire alarm though a few times.
I've done that
Uh-oh.
quite a few
But
times.
it's usually cooking meat or something, and she'll forget to put on the fan.
Yeah, yeah.
And usually
yeah.
it's you're cooking the meat, the steam is going everywhere. We got a smoke alarm right next to it, so it goes off every now and then.
Right. No, that makes sense. It definitely, she took out the cookies early. I was like, there's no way. But you rushed to Macy and you were like, because you knew she was baking.
Yeah.
And I think you were like, Macy, did you burn the cookies? And then that's when you guys that's when we came out and we were like,
It was scary. I didn't. When you said the sprinkler thing, I was freaking
I know.
out on the inside. I was like, "Oh my god, are we gonna just destroy tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
worth of stuff?"
Yeah.
Fortunately, the sprinklers didn't come on. Everything went fine, except for the fact that now all of the panels are falling from the ceiling.
Yeah. You gotta
So
do it again.
we're gonna have to do it again, which is
Yeah.
the biggest pain in the butt, but it's fine.
for
Fix
old
it.
time's sake, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, for old time's sake. And guys, look out because we're actually ordering a big table, and we're gonna set up that as the podcast studio. It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
Please open a window this next time.
We will.
I'm
We-
begging
Yeah.
I'll
We
do
open
that
a window
for you.
afterwards.
For you.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
I know
Absolutely.
Jack won't remember. Alex, I'm begging you.
I'll remember. But anyways, those were our 2 days with you, Alex, and they were great days, and we really loved spending that time with you, and we knew you were a great candidate from then.
It was weird. I was telling Macy, when you left, it sounds weird to say, I missed you being here.
He
I
did
really
say that to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, but it just felt like it was different. Like it just wasn't the same after you had left.
It's true.
And it was like, I missed having you here. Like I like just having you around the house. Even if we don't talk or like I'm in here doing my thing. It's cool to have you just in the living room working on just whatever. It's nice.
Yeah, I move around. I use the kitchen table, the living room. I've even used like the guest bed. Like I'll
Yeah.
sit on the
He's a
guest bed and
nomad.
I'll just be like,
Yeah,
just
and,
no one's in there.
and I've told Alex just hang out here. Just if you want to just hang out over a weekend, just even if you're not working, just come and show up and hang out. I don't mind. Use the guest bedroom. I don't care.
He has a good
Have
presence.
Kelsey come over. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that's one thing that shocked me when I came over. I mean, Graham, the first week that I was here, he was gone, and one of the first things he's like, "Yeah, you want to come to my house and make dinner?" He's like, "I'm not there, but he's like, go ahead." And I was just like, "Oh," and it was very, very odd. You're very because we're still small. We have a close crew, so I guess it's pretty nice.
Right.
Yeah, so your presence was great, and that was our experience with you on that first time we flew you out, and we had those 2 days with you. Then we had Colby fly out, and I was really excited with Colby, and he met all of my expectations. Colby was honestly, he was great.
Colby
great.
had a lot of strength. Colby's strength, in my opinion, was his creativity. I think his ability to add humor into the video was unparalleled. It was so good. But then I thought, like, overall, like the entire package, I felt like, sure, you might not have his level of like humor, creativity, but that's not something that you need right now and can't learn in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, I also told Jack it was a little bit different because I was kind of doing a podcast where it was very cut. And then Colby got to edit a vlog, which I don't think you guys mentioned. He edited the first vlog. So if you guys saw the first vlog on Thus to Family, subscribe. Colby,
And get your free stock down below in the description.
yeah,
Worth up to $50, and you send it for public. And I'm posting all of my stock trades on there. So if you want to see what stocks I'm buying, it's free. It's basically it's free money.
if
So you
Graham
may
buys,
as well do it.
If
You
Graham
may as
buys,
well.
I buy.
And then I'll buy.
Wait, actually, if we're posting this tomorrow, I'm doing I'm gifting a Tesla stock to whoever signs up using the link down below in the description. Deposit $100 on the platform, and then Friday, April 16th, I'm going to be giving someone a free share of Tesla.
I should do that.
Yeah, you
That's
should.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So yeah, just
now
do
you guys
that.
know.
You may as well. It's like it'll take you a few minutes worth of work. Best case scenario, you get up to like $700 of a free stock. Worst case scenario, you spend like what, a minute, 2 minutes signing up, and you get a free stock worth up to $50. You win either way, no matter what happens.
Free money.
Free money.
Yeah. Colby got to edit the vlog, and that was awesome. I got to edit the podcast, so not much creativity. Now, the second vlog, which is going to be out by the time that this is out, I got to edit the second vlog. So I feel like for that, I did get to be a little bit more creative with the editing. But I agree. Colby, I think Colby's creativity,
It's great.
insane.
Yeah, he wrote sponsor scripts for us for that podcast that we released that following weekend, and the sponsor scripts were hilarious. He's just so good at just creating like structure and like telling a story and all that stuff. He's just got a great sense of humor. I just want to make sure we're doing Colby justice because he really was
I agree.
great. And the thing is, we had so many people apply for this position and so many people that were good enough. So many people that we know for a fact they would blend in
100%.
perfectly fine with us. We could do a great job with them, and they would be better than good enough. They would be perfect for the position. The unfortunate thing is that we could only pick one person. So if we didn't end up picking some of you, that doesn't mean that you guys were bad candidates. We had so many candidates that were like, I would have been so excited to work with you guys.
Yeah, there were at least a dozen where if that was the only, if they showed up tomorrow, I'd be like, oh yeah,
Hey,
this
that's
is
good.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was so happy. There's like a dozen people like that were honestly, in my opinion, just pretty much perfect.
So not
So-
to discredit anyone else
Right.
that applied for the position or Colby, and leave your videos up there because we may not be done with just Alex. Like we may continue hiring at some point in the future.
Not to mention, I've spoken with a few other people who have started looking over those videos and want to recruit people
No
who
way.
have submitted for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
Same
not
here.
gonna-
Other
I won't
people-
mention any names.
But YouTubers.
Yes.
Yes, other people that need help.
Me at some point in the future. There was a few that I saw that it was like, ooh, okay. If they don't pick them at some point in the future when I get to
Yeah.
needing someone for that stuff.
Yeah, keep them all up there.
We have a great pool of people
Yeah.
that applied for the position. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, getting here, and speaking of all these other candidates, man, you guys needed help badly. Like,
How busy are you?
extremely busy. I mean, I went back home Easter weekend, right? And I shot a wedding because I do photography. And after the wedding, I mean, I stayed up editing a podcast until 4 a.m. And I mean, I could have done it at different times, right? But just having to get it out there and working, and it doesn't feel like work. That's the weird part. Jack and Graham keep me extremely busy, and I feel like if this keeps going the way that it is, you're gonna need more help.
Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see this going? What would you
To
like?
be honest, I hope I can
know.
hire Graham in 5 years, and he can be my assistant.
Flip the tables.
Yeah,
I'll
No.
come work for you.
in 5 years, if ideally I'd love to stay here in 5 years. This is like what I love to do. I was like, I'm so glad I got this opportunity. In 5 years, I'd love to see myself kind of like, I don't want to say in Jack's role, but like kind of what Jack's role has evolved into. I'd love to, I think when we talked on the phone, I mentioned how I'd love to grow the way that we produce content. I won't necessarily get into it, but it involves hiring more people. And I'd love to help run that operation as smoothly as possible. And I think I have the benefit of coming from the corporate world, but I also don't want to force corporate structure, because I think part of what makes this weird machine run that is YouTube creation is some of the messiness. Like it sounds kind of crazy, but I think you need structure, but I also think that not having structure is also a good balance. So ideally in 5 years, I'd love to be in a position where I'm able to help the Graham Stephan brand, I guess, grow, and people won't even know that we do it. Or,
That's what I like. Yeah. But I would like to see you eventually doing other things in addition to what you're doing now and growing whatever that is. Like you've started doing the Iced Coffee Hour Clips channel down below in the description. Great thumbnails, by the way. I like those thumbnails.
Thanks. Yeah. So stuff like that. I'd love to take on more projects too in the next 5 years. But I can also tell that we're gonna be busy. There's gonna be a limit. We're gonna keep creating so much content that we're gonna probably need. I'm not gonna say now, but you might need another person eventually.
Was there ever any moment when you were here that you were like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do?
Yeah. I think the moment where I knew that this is for me was after Jack and I hung all those foam panels, because that was grueling work.
You were just high.
Yeah,
You know
we
what?
had to be messed up.
Wildly.
We were
You-
delirious.
You
from all
ruined
that
so
smoke.
many brain cells.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
yep, I want to work here.
It was like,
You weren't
if they can
thinking
supply.
clearly.
No, I think after that, because what happened was like, Jack, it made sense for Jack to be on the ladder. He's like a thin guy over here.
I was on the ladder and he was
I
stabilizing.
was
the ladder.
holding the ladder, and then I was also like grabbing the foam from the floor, spraying it, handing it up to Jack. So it was a lot of like moving all day from probably like 8 or 9 in the morning. We probably didn't finish till like 7.
It was.
And so when I finished doing that, and it felt like I had just, when you help a buddy with a project and you're just like, oh, let's go get dinner afterwards. When I felt that feeling after just doing labor all day, I was just like, this is it. Like, what more could I ask for? I mean, you know, you guys said that there would be things that aren't editing, like hanging foam tiles, and to be done with that and just feeling like I just spent a day with my best friend that I didn't think would be friends. It was awesome.
It didn't feel like work. It felt like two guys just like building a deck in their free time on a Sunday.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Building a deck.
Two
college bros.
You could have joined in on the fun too, you know?
Yeah.
Two frat bros.
Exactly.
Building
that's
a
what it
deck.
felt like, you know?
It could have been just two dudes chilling in a hot
Two dudes
tub.
chilling. That's funny though that you said that hanging up all of those pads was kind of like your aha moment. And I think for me it was the exact same thing. But we flew you out before we flew Colby out, and I wanted to make sure that we gave Colby a fair shot at the position at the same time. But that was kind of my moment where I was like, oh, okay, I could definitely see myself working with this guy. I would be so happy and lucky to have this guy on the team. Very, very happy with the four of us. Right? It's a great group.
Yep. Yeah. How did you find the channel originally?
I found the channel. So I wasn't always into personal finance, and you know, I've had some conversations with Jack. There was a point where I've maxed out my credit cards. So that's an interesting story, but I didn't grow up in a financially literate household. My parents were immigrants, and so when I was working at a bank, just as like a customer service rep before I was, you know, where I was back then, I saw these people with a bunch of money. They would get like 10 grand every 2 weeks or 10 grand every month, and it would be at zero. And they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're asking me to reverse their fees. And I'm like, you're making so much more money than me. I shouldn't be having to reverse any fees for you. Like, what's going on? And so I think at that point, I almost got scared. So I just wanted to get educated and be financially literate. So the first person I ever found on YouTube when I was like searching about finances was Jeremy, financial education. Jeremy. And I didn't watch his video. Like I didn't watch every video. The only thing I remember was like, holy smokers, this ain't no joke.
Wait, we gotta all do it at the same time. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Holy smokers, this ain't no jokers.
I just remember seeing that and hearing his story about like working at the gas station. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then the YouTube algorithm just grabbed me. They pulled me away from Jeremy. Then they fed me some Meet Kevin. And they're like, oh, you like Meet Kevin, you know? So I did watch Meet Kevin a little bit. But then they fed me Graham Stephan. And so I'm lucky that I followed you on Instagram, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have applied.
That's a sign to follow us on Instagram.
At GP Stephan.
Yes.
At JLS Selby.
So out of curiosity, you said you'd watched a few of my videos. Was that after you applied for Graham?
No. Before, yeah. Because everybody apparently in the comments just calls you Graham's girlfriend. Right. But I was curious. I was like, who is Graham's girlfriend? And so, you know, and then I was confused because I thought your name was Savannah. So before, I didn't know your real name because you don't say it. Well, now you do. But
no, I do.
You didn't say it in your YouTube video. So I was like, wait, so is her name Savannah, or is it Macy? So I knew before I left that your name was Macy.
So what was one thing that really surprised you about us? And then maybe what was another thing that was something that is like generally assumed about us and it held true?
And then one thing you don't like about us.
Yes, please do that.
One thing about
honestly,
each of us.
I would love the transparency. I really would.
All right. Okay. So the one thing that is actually true, like that is perceived and is actually true, Graham is so freaking frugal.
Okay.
I show up and I was telling him about the towels and the lights, and to me it just didn't make sense because I was like, okay, you make all this money on YouTube. It's more of an investment. And I'm not saying get the fanciest lights you can. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say get some diffusers, like get some, you know, a softbox or whatever it is. So that's the one thing. You as well. You don't spend money.
It's true.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Jack told me something. He's like, when you work here, he's like, you don't have time to spend money.
Wait a second.
It's true.
I'm going to take a quick break. I might have something for you. A surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a gift I want to present to you. It is from Eric. Open it up.
No way! That's awesome.
Guys,
So this is from Carrot. So this is under my account, but now you don't need to ask my permission. If I ask you to go and buy something, now you have a credit card, a business credit card that you could spend under me, so I see what you're spending on that,
Rolex?
and I pay for it. But for any legitimate business expenses, now you have your own card that you could spend.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
do you even have a Graham Stephan business card?
No, a matter of fact, I don't have a Graham Stephan business credit card.
No, because here's what happened. You went to go and buy a hose, and I asked you to go buy a hose from Lowe's or wherever it was, and then you gave me the receipt. I had to pay you back. I'm like, that's stupid. You know what? Now, I'm going to get you a credit card under my account, and then that way, if you spend anything, I'm paying for it anyway. So,
And
open it up.
I've seen this card. Well, kind of.
No, you haven't seen that one.
Can I see
Yo, this is thick. There's no numbers on the front. This is a thick boy. It's like gold.
That's really
That's
cool.
really fancy.
Let me see it.
Wow, that's cool. I like the gold.
So do I.
That's cool.
That's
Why does
awesome.
it have a home on it?
So Carrot customizes the credit card, so you don't need to have a. So the name. Oh yeah. So there's the name back there. But yeah, on the front, you don't need to have anything on the front, so they just put a house on it. Talk to the viewers for a second. Just have a 30 seconds with them.
I saw so many great applications. I'm sure they did too. I just want to say everybody did a really good job. I've had some really awesome people who like reached out and they told me my video was good before they even knew I got the job. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure you guys will get to know me as I might appear in some stuff, but I'll be a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, and who knows, you might be working with somebody who's watching this at some point in the future. You probably will be. Chances are. So you got to say to any future people who might end up working with us at some
to
point.
anybody who is going to come work for Graham in the future, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, run, man.
Get out while you still can. Unsubscribe, dislike. No, I'm kidding. Mace, thanks for joining too.
Mace, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I feel like
you
need
go
a-
final
You got to speak up.
I don't know what to talk about.
Just
Shout
say
out Savannah
final-
Smiles on YouTube.
Yeah. Your
is my
Amazon
channel.
affiliate link.
Is in the description of one of those videos I've made.
Have you guys ever wanted to send fan mail?
Oh yeah,
Macy.
plug the PO box.
So if anyone wants to send stuff to me or Graham, I mean, usually I unbox it, so you might get my reactions, not Graham's. But I do have a PO box. It is 9360 West Flamingo Road, Suite 110, number 536, Las Vegas, Nevada 89147.
It's in the description if you want to send any of us any fan mail. But you got to put either my name or Macy's name on it. You don't put Jack or Alex because they're going to be like, who is this? It's got to be one of our names. Cool. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the subscribe button, like button, and notification bell. Also, feel free to add us on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add us there. Make sure, by the way, to get your free stock down below in the description. Public is going to be giving you a free stock worth all the way up to $50. You may as well do that, and you get a chance to earn a Tesla stock by April 16th. So you got to do it by April 16th. And enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Alex, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Joining the team. And until next time.
We have to complete the funnel. Guys, go subscribe to the vlog channel.
Oh, and it's the family.
Right.
Do I say my name first?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the 47th ever episode of the Yes Coffee Hour. My name is
name is
Alex.
Alex.
Okay.
And so far, the podcast is made.